Hey everybody, what's going on? Got a big day tomorrow to get ready for, and I'm just loving the process of these river crossings and then having soaked shoes and then deciding to push on another 5 miles to make tomorrow only a 17-mile day, to town after doing a 13,480 foot pass. And there's 2 passes tomorrow. We have to leave to go to town on Kearsarge Pass, which I think it's not as bad, but there's a ton of logistics that go into how far you push each day, where you camp, because you have to factor in the next day and you have to factor in your food and the weather. It's undescribable how much goes into planning all this. But I pushed on when a lot of the group, basically we had 3 other people in our group that were going to do the Sierras together, and it's like disbanded. One of the guy had a cracked tooth, he had to go to town. Another guy wanted to do like lower miles and then take a Nero or a Zero on trail, and then he wanted to do Whitney, so we had like 3 things going against me, which I can't wait. I'm not carrying 6 to 8 days of food. I put about 4.5 days of food on at Kennedy Meadows, and this is like a 3.5, 4 day, 5 day trip to Kearsarge. I could have gone out the Whitney portal, but that would have totally wrecked me because it's 5,000 foot climb just to come back, just to get out. It's not good. But anyways, I have this really cool hack that when you have wet shoes and wet socks and wet boots and wet everything, because like last night my shoes were frozen solid in the morning. So some people put them in Ziploc bags and they put them inside the foot box in their bag. I have a quilt which it has a foot box, so I could put them in there, but I don't want like feet clunking against shoes all night. So I got to camp a little early. I was going to push 5 more miles, but I got invited to camp here. We had to cross this raging river to get here. I've crossed like 3 or 4 raging rivers today, all deadly, which is cool because that's kind of what I signed up for on this trip. It's owning up to what I wanted it to be. But check this out. So I've got my little down booty that I sleep in. Inside of that I have my Topo insole. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll see if I can. So I've got my Topo insole so I can keep these warm and dry. They were pretty wet. And then inside, on top of that, I've got my neoprene water sock that I'll put inside of there. And then on top of that, I'll put my gator. Gators aren't that uncritical, but they keep rocks out of your shoes and they save you time. So that's kind of a cool hack that I figured out. Just stuff everything inside of your booties. You could throw all these loose pieces inside your foot box of your bag, but like last night I did not sleep worth a damn. It sucked. I had a huge spider crawl across my face, like that big. Just it was on my arm, and I thought, oh, that's a weird feeling, but I thought it was a piece of string or something from my coat. Or I have like tons of pieces of like bungee cord like all over the place in here. They're just like tensioners for different things. So I thought it was one of those, and then it proceeded to run across my face in the dark. So I turned on my light and looked around, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I thought it was a bug, like a mosquito eater or something. Dude, the body on this thing was like no spider I've ever seen before. It was a long, tubular bodied spider that was like furry. Like part moth, part spider, but it was fully spider. That traumatized me. So hopefully none of that today. I didn't know stuff could really, like bugs could live up here, but I mean it froze pretty I mean, it got like 20, probably 28 degrees last night. The puddles had ice on them on the trail, but they weren't frozen solid. So that's one thing I would like to get. It's a little teeny tiny electronic device about the size of a quarter, and it tells you what the nighttime temps are, and it records it, the low, the high of the day, and all that. So you know. But anyways, somebody was very kind and gave me an extra day of food because their hike is over. I've been passing people left and right like crazy that are just like, their plans are changing and they have to go back to work, and like there's been a lot of surprising things out here that I've seen that were like kind of unexpected, because like my pace is like up there. Like I push hard miles and big days. You know, I don't take a lot of zeros. I mean, I'm doing this, and it's hard in a way because some of the other people out here are like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna hike with somebody that's dangerous, and I'm like sitting there like, dude, are you for real? I'm getting to where I need to go in a timely manner. The longer I'm up in the Sierras, that's dangerous. Like, I'm not like running down cliffs and stuff. I'm like, because when you post hole, if you're running or like moving too quickly, you'll like hyperextend your knee, because like your upper body will just keep going while your foot is 4 feet underneath of ice berm. So like today we did this really big like 1,000-foot glissade, and the trail just disappeared and it just turned into this ice wall that was like super sketch. So this dude I was hiking with, this French kid, he's like, yeah, he's hiked in the Swiss Alps or the French Alps, and he's like, he had no micro spikes, no crampons, no axe, and he just like slid all the way down the mountain and used his trekking poles to like steer. I was like, dude, that is amazing. But I took a like a 2-hour detour by accident. I went down this really cool trail that I saw this tree that was like 20 feet in diameter. It was this majorly old like juniper tree, and somebody told me that the oldest trees in the world are on this trail, but they're like unknown and they don't want people to know about them. But I saw that tree and I was like, dude, that's as big as a redwood. It is so freaking huge. But it's probably bigger than 20 feet. I thought it was 30 feet wide at first, and then I'm like, there's no way. But it's probably around 25 feet thick. I mean, just, we're talking like the length of a vehicle. It's just super big. Not very tall, but big. So, pretty good group. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably 5 people camped around me right now. But we're all going to get up at 4 a.m. and we're going to do 5 miles to the base of Forester Pass, and then up and over. I may camp one more night on trail, just so I don't end up running down Kearsarge Pass to get to town. It'll be late. I mean, I'll be getting into town at like, I don't even know. I'm expecting to spend another night on trail, which is fine. I can camp at Onion Creek Campground, I think, which is like at the end of that. And I mean, that's fine. I'll just wake up in the morning and wait until I get a ride. Anyways, I love you guys, and that's it for tonight. I will talk to you guys in a couple days when I can get to town.